In baseball, it's not how many hits you get, but when you get them. And in this series, the Giants are getting their hits when they need them the most. Now the Giants are set to go for a sweep of the Indians, but Nick Swisher and company are more than capable of putting up a fight. It's just a matter of who comes up with the hits at the right time. Giants Indians next. Sunday afternoon baseball here at AT&T Park. We got a nice day to close out this three-game series, Giants and Indians. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, the Giants have an opportunity to sweep this Cleveland Indians team, and they're going to be tough today, the Indians. They don't want that to happen, obviously. And the Giants will send out the veteran, Ryan Vogelsong. So go get him, Vogelsong.
Well, go get him indeed. Now, the Giants have not been able to close out. They've had opportunities to get a sweep. They've not been able to get that third game. Today, it's Ryan Vogelsong who will go after it. Now, for Vogelsong, there's one statistic that seems to be really troubling him, and that's the statistics of what the left-handers are hitting against him. They come into this game hitting .348. So you look down the Indians lineup, and there's 7 of the 8 regulars that are left-handed. So that'll be the key as to how Vogelsong handles those lefties today, and hopefully the Giants can get that first sweep.
All right. Should be fun today here at the Yard. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll have the lineups on the first pitch right after this.
By Jack in the Box. Head to Jack in the Box and try the new Jack's Blazin' Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Here at AT&T Park in front of another packed house. On a nice afternoon, our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 57 degrees here at the Yard, light winds, humidity at 72%, and it's overcast, a few scattered clouds. Ryan Vogelsong on the mound, and here's the lineup that he'll be facing. It'll go like this. For the Indians, it'll be Bourne, and Nick Swisher, who's 4 for 9 in the series. Then it'll be Kipnis, Santana, and Michael Brantley. Hitting 6th will be Asdrubal Cabrera, followed by Gomes, Murphy, and then the pitcher Danny Salazar.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the 6'4", 215-pound, 36-year-old right-hander Ryan Vogelsong in his 8th year at the big league level. This is what he has done in 4 starts. Still looking for win number 1. 11 strikeouts in 16 1/3, 24 hits allowed, and the left-handers have really done well against him, hitting .389.
And the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it's down low. So we get started at 105. On time.
Vogelsong is going to give you 2 types of fastballs: a curveball, slider, cutter, changeup, lots of different movements.
This is hit into left center field, and it's going to fall in front of the left fielder Morse. So the Speedy Bourne is aboard.
Let's take a look at the Giants defense today. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Morse, Pagan, and Pence. That's your outfield. Crawford and Sandoval on the left side of the infield. Hicks and Belt on the right side. And Buster Posey will be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Swisher. Swisher overall at .227, a couple of home runs, 10 driven in.
Indians can throw a lot of left-handers at you there. 7 of the regulars will be taking their at-bats from the left side today against Vogelsong, and that is his challenge.
And the first pitch is down low. Swisher, as you saw when we did the lineups, he's had 4 hits in the series. With Jason Kipnis on deck.
Oh boy.
Home plate umpire Scott Berry calls that pitch down low.
He's a good umpire to have if you're Ryan Vogelsong. He's got a pretty big zone. You'll see knee-high strikes. You'll see belt-high strikes. And you don't necessarily have to hit the catcher between the legs to get a strike. If you sit on the outside corner, you come across the inside corner away from the catcher, you'll get it with Berry. He's a nice zone.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Good changeup in that 2-0 count. Nick Swisher sitting on fastball way out in front of a good changeup.
Bourne with 2 steals on the year. Swisher pops it up. Sandoval coming down from third. And he'll put it away in foul territory. 1 out.
All right, time now for our Nissan keys to the game. And we're talking about Ryan Vogelsong. And for Vogelsong, it's simple. Trust your stuff. He's a guy who has always pitched off the fastball. And we saw it happen 2 starts ago with the Dodgers. He did not his last outing. That'll be his key today. And for Pablo Sandoval, he needs to get it going. You got to open up a Pablo, jumpstart Pablo, get him going. Homestand hitting just $167, and they need his bat. So today, that would be a good time to start. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
Here's Kipnis. Kipnis takes a pitch high. 1 for 5 yesterday with a couple of RBIs. 2 for 4 on Friday night. Giants won on Friday night 5-1, and they won yesterday 5-3. They come in with a record of 14-10, as that's outside 2-0. Not a bad place to be.
No place to sit down, though.
I mean, if you're not in here, out there would be a good second choice. Swing and a miss. So both times 2-0. Vogelsong gets to swing through.
Well, this time he does it with a fastball in the outside corner. Yep, wave the flags as you hit the C's. And like I said, no place to sit down. A lot of people standing up out there.
in tight 3-1.
Did not miss by much. And that's one Vogelsong wanted. Two-seamer inside corner, just a bit inside. Giants play Kipnis. Slight pull in the infield, pretty straight away in the outfield. You see Crawford and Sandoval pull over towards the second base bag.
Has to come in, and Kipnis fouls this one down the left field line and out of play.
Oh yeah, always time for a kiss after you get a foul ball.
Or, you know what, or anytime.
Yeah, or anytime.
Runner goes, pitches high, and it's going to be ball 4. Fans are cheering because they didn't quite see the ball 4, and that'll bring up Santana.
You see 2 hits in the last 23 at bats, but he has hit the ball hard in this series and hasn't got a whole lot to show for it. And those are things you have to look at when you're an opposing pitcher. You see the 2 for 23, thinking there's a dead spot in the lineup. Well, maybe not so. I would have to respect this guy. He's got good power.
He is off to a slow start. And he takes down low, 1-0. Vogelsong trying to pitch out of some trouble here in the first. High to right field. Pence back. Ball starting to carry. Pence now on the track, and he'll put it away.
He just got underneath that one, and I guarantee that felt good coming off the bat. Just too much height.
Bourne moves to third.
He's working himself in to get it in situations, and against this Indians team or any team at the big league level, you're asking for trouble. Big high leg kick you see with our Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, and you can see the power coming off that back leg, and he just got underneath it.
So here's Michael Brantley. First and third, 2 outs. And Brantley takes one wide. One ball and no strikes.
He spent some time on that boat today. Vogelsong will slow things down when runners are on base.
2-0.
And once again, he's worked himself into a get-it-in situation. Now he has an open base here. He's got Cabrera on deck. And you have to remember that Brantley is the guy that leads this Indians team in RBIs. So unlikely that Vogelsong will give in to him with an open base.
2 balls and 1 strike.
And there's the changeup in the fastball count. So he's utilized that several times early on here, and he's got a good feel of that changeup. You always try and see what's working early in that first inning, and right now he knows he can count on that changeup.
Kipnis at first. Belt holding him tight. Bourne at third. And it's on the ground to Hicks, and Vogelsong is going to get out of it. Indians strand a pair. Salazar coming out. Pagan coming up. in interleague. Very good. And then Bell. Posey will be the cleanup hitter. Morris 5th. Sandoval, Crawford, and Hicks will be 6th, 7th, and 8th, and Vogelsong 9th.
On the hill today for the Cleveland Indians will be the young right-hander Danny Salazar, 6 feet tall, 195-pounder. Just under a year's experience at the big league level. This will be what he's done in 4 starts. You look at those numbers, you say, well, gee, what's the big deal about this guy? Well, he is a big deal. Look at the strikeout total, 23 and 18 in the third. He's got a fastball that can be electric. It can go low to high 90s, depending on the grip. He will 2-seam and 4-seam the ball. You see a lot of sync with his fastball. You get a lot of breaking bats. He'll get a lot of ground balls. And when his changeup is a pitch he can get over, you're in for an incredible 2-pitch combo. He also will throw a slider. Let's take a look at the defense playing behind Salazar for the Indians today. Starting in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Brantley, Bourne, and Murphy. Cabrera and Santana on the left side of the infield. Kipnis and Swisher on the right side. And Yan Gomes will be in the squad putting down the signs.
So here's Pagan. Pagan hitting at .337. He's got a home run, 13 driven in. 1 for 3 yesterday with an RBI. 2 for 4 yesterday with 2 runs scored. This is foul back, a good rip. That may have been right in front of John and Dave. Look at that. Beverage in one hand, ball in the other. How happy is Grandma?
Happy.
On the ground sharply to Kipnis. Pagan will be retired.
All right, let's take a look at that foul ball. Let's see exactly what it did do. Just to the right of the KBR booth. Rattle, rattle. Guy jumped up with his foot in one hand and put a big old bear paw snag on it. And he gave it up. Nice going.
Here's Hunter Pence. Pence 2 for 4 on Friday. He looks at a strike. And he had a couple of RBIs. He actually had the 2 biggest RBIs of the game yesterday.
Curveball from Salazar.
One ball and 1 strike with Belt to follow. Good live arm. That was an easy 95.
Yeah, he's got a loose shoulder, no doubt. I mean, Indians are really high on this young arm. It doesn't take you long into the ball game to see why they like him.
2-2. Belt to follow. See Pence in constant motion. And it's a full count.
I think Pence is the only guy in the league that wears his pants the way he wears them, above the knees, like an NFL receiver.
He's from Texas. He's got a little football in him. And the walk.
All right, time now for our AT&T U-verse rewind. And yesterday it was Hunter Pence that came up with a big hit. Giants have been down most of the ball game. This was an opportunity with 2 outs. The bases loaded. He knocked a single in, scored 2. The Giants would take the lead and never give it back again. That is our AT&T U-verse rewind. Hunter Pence has definitely heated up since coming back to San Francisco.
So here's Belt. Belt 0 for 4 yesterday with 2 strikeouts. Belt on Friday 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
Well, he's been dropping his back shoulder, and he's got a little bit too much lift in his swing right now, and it's causing him to swing through a lot of high fastballs, and that is a very frustrating thing for a hitter. And the resolve is simply you need to have a higher back shoulder as you start your swing. Flatten it out. Keep it in the strike zone longer.
Very high, 2-0.
Part of the challenge of being a tall hitter, 6'5", and it's hard to keep the machine balanced through your swing. There's so many different body parts you have to be responsible for. So much more size in your swing compared to smaller ball players. You drop that back shoulder, you're going to have an uppercut.
A healthy rip by Belt. 2 balls and 1 strike.
That's what teams have reacted. And watching him the last week and a half, they've been throwing high fastballs through him, and he's not been able to stay on top of them.
The overshift to the right side of the diamond for Belt. And Salazar will check on Hunter Pence. Just underway here at AT&T Park. Belt started to go. Maybe wisely put on the brakes.
Yeah, if a guy is going to create opportunity for you, and by that I mean if Salazar is going to start walking people, you just give him a little room and let him dig his hole. And right now he is not really 100% confident of the strike zone. And this is a good count to hit in if you're Brandon Belt.
We'll see if Pence goes here. He does not. And Belt is just not catching up to it. He hasn't been able to do it in the last 3 days.
And that's why you really can't hit with a guy who's going through the swing and misses, which he is going through. And that's the high fastball that he's been swinging underneath. He cannot keep that top hand above it and that back shoulder high enough to flatten out your swing. And it is a hole right now.
Got him. That's the 6th time in the series Belt has struck out.
And what's unnerving about his at-bats is he's not even fouling it off. That'll unnerve anybody.
This was the home run yesterday, Buster Posey.
Well, it was a 4-3 ball game, and that made it 5-3, a 3-2 challenge slider that got up above the belt, and he said, "Thank you very much." The Giants need to get his bat going. It's been slumping.
And he takes a strike as he takes a look at the first pitch from Salazar. And it's 0-1.
The home run yesterday snapped a 24 at bat hitless drought against right-handers. That's what's been giving him problems.
And Pence gets back. Bottom of the first inning.
But with Posey, it's a little deceiving. You see an 0 for 24 against right-handers, but if you go back to all the balls that he's hit hard that have been caught, I mean, it's not as bad as it sounds. And if you talk to him about his swing, I mean, he feels pretty good about what's happening at the plate. And he thinks he'll start to fall.
Posey reaches. It'll be Michael Morse who's on deck. One ball and 1 strike. And that hits the outside corner, so it's 1-2. Salazar bent over at the waist. He gets the sign. Posey behind in the count. Hit up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit.
And finding a hole is something he has not had a whole lot of luck with of late. Great hitters, they will be patient because they know it's a matter of time before they will start to find a hole. Here, it's a foot down early, very compact swing. Stays inside it a long time. And I think he did exactly what he was trying to do, and that's hit it back up the middle.
So here's Morris. Morris, a home run on Friday. Picked up a base hit in the game yesterday, part of that 4-run rally in the 5th inning. So Pence at second base with 2 outs. And that hits the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Sandoval on deck. No balls and a strike to Michael Morris.
Good pitch to hit right there.
This is the home run on Friday.
This was a massive swing of the bat going to right center field. You just don't see many right-handers sitting out there. He is strong.
Oh, and 2. Salves are out in front of Morse. And that's going to do it. Giants strand a pair. The Indians strand a pair. It's 0-0.
Former teammates of Kruk and Kipe, and I'm talking about Rick Manning. He's now an announcer for the Cleveland Indians and former Cleveland teammate of our own Dwayne Kuiper. Dwayne, I had a good conversation with Rick. He said he loved how much you loved baseball when you were his first roommate in his baseball career. He also said you were really down to earth, and I said, hey, was he as funny then as he is now? And he said, you know what? He was an agitator, and I quote him. He said he'd get in there, stir it all up, and then step back and watch it unfold. It's good to know things have never changed. Dwayne Kuiper, we love you.
Yeah, that's a good scout report right there.
You're buying that?
Yes, I am. He's got you to a T.
Here's Cabrera. And Cabrera takes down in. I've known Manning to say whatever the person really wants him to say. So Amy could have set him up.
No. Not talking about an old teammate.
That's pulled foul. So I'm in Reno my first year, 1972.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 roommates. And Rick Manning gets drafted in June of that year. And he's 17 and he's out of Buffalo. And the general manager, Phil Segui, calls me and he says, I have a new roommate for you and you're going to take care of him. And that's who walked in the door. Problem was I was from a dairy farm and hadn't been anywhere at 21. He was from Buffalo and had been everywhere. So he took care of me.
He's still doing it.
2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Well, it's great. You maintain contact with Rick for forever.
Yeah.
And you guys play golf in the off season, and good to see him here in San Francisco. And he loves this ballpark.
Popped him up. Crawford. He did say that. He said it is his favorite park in baseball. I said, well, you're probably not going to get an argument from us.
Yeah, we offer a pretty biased opinion, but this place is heaven.
With one out, here's Jan Gomes. Gomes hitting at 268. He did not catch on Friday. It was Santana who did the catching on Friday. He did catch, however, yesterday. And he went 1 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. He's a good player, really good defensive player. As we talked a lot about yesterday, Henry Shulman wrote about it. He married one of former Giant Atlee Hammaker's daughters. Just outside 2-0.
And I think Atlee has 5 girls. His daughter Jenna married Jan Gomes, due for she's pregnant with her first child, who's due really any minute.
I just think it's interesting that she married a catcher. 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't know why. Not that Atlee wasn't difficult to catch. He was around the plate. 2-1 to Gomes. Takes a wicked swing. It's 2-2.
Well, Atlee was unusual in that he was a left-handed sinker baller with a really good slider. Very athletic. Just a good teammate. Really one of the nicer human beings that has ever walked through Mike Murphy's clubhouse. He's just a good guy. I mean, people would say they don't like Atlee Hammaker. Get up and leave the room, because it's impossible not to like Atlee Hammaker.
3-2 now to Gomes.
And he may be happy with that curveball. That was an easy take for Gomes. And it'll leave you thinking.
Oh, he had a big rip at that. It's 3-2. Atlee started the 1983 All-Star game, and he gave up the first grand slam in All-Star game history. Freddie Lynn. And if you're a ball player, you better learn to take a joke. The next year, we had Freddie Lynn sign a ball to Atlee in spring training. To Atlee, thanks, Freddie Lynn. Got him.
Good fastball right through him for a strikeout for Vogelsong.
Padres, they're going to make their first visit, and they'll be here tomorrow. And they'll be here tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. All 3 night games, 7:15 starts. Check out the dynamic deal. It starts for as low as $8. That's right, $8. Visit sfgiants.com/dynamic deal to purchase. We would absolutely love to see you here at the yard.
And just one footnote, I bet you Atlee still has that ball.
I bet he does.
Because we were all laughing and he was laughing the loudest. It gives you some idea of what type of guy he was.
Murphy takes wide. Murphy 0 for 4 on Friday. He did come back yesterday, however, and pick up a couple of hits. Fouls this one down the left field line and out of play. Got an 8th place hitter that's knocked in 17 runs.
Oh, he's had a great swing going in this series. And 8th place hitter in the National League, different, completely different than an 8th place hitter in the American League. You're going to get some pitches to hit as an 8th place hitter in the American League. I mean, you've got a big league hitter behind you, and in the National League, you have a big league pitcher behind you. Which means if you're out there on the mound and you have a guy who's a pitcher on deck, you're not going to give that guy hitting 8th place very much to hit.
Got him. And that'll end the inning. Second strikeout for Vogelsong. For the Giants, Pablo will lead things off. 0-0.
Solar Company. The solar company. Switch to solar and save.
No score here in the bottom of the second inning. Sandoval, Crawford, and Hicks to face Danny Salazar. Both teams stranded 2 in the first inning. Sandoval trying to get it going. One for 3 on Friday. And the Panda took an 0 for 3 yesterday. And a first pitch strike at 93, and it's 0-1. Crawford on deck. Giants will host the Padres tomorrow night. The Indians will travel to Anaheim to take on the Angels tomorrow night. Sandoval on the ground to short. There's Drupal Cabrera on the backhand. Today was Little League Day, and Mike and Will Clark, among some other players, did a question and answer with a lot of Little Leaguers and their coaches, and they did it down there over by the Virgin America box, and it's always a good time.
It is a great time, and when you get a guy like Will Clark and Hector Sanchez and Jeremy Affeldt that all are very compassionate towards young hitters, I mean, it turns out to be a good show. And Will Clark was fantastic. He said a couple of tips today for young hitters that were invaluable, and just in his way, very simply put, very easy to understand. Little League Baseball's 75th anniversary this year, and Will Clark had a lot of great memories of when he was a Little Leaguer.
Who else did you have?
Well, Hector Sanchez was fantastic, and Jeremy Affeldt always good. And they just a lot of compassion in the way they speak about the game. And the kids picked up on it.
1 ball and 1 strike. Crawford out of play. It's 1-2.
Got his glove. And did he get it? No.
And by the way, don't lean over too far.
Yeah, I don't want to lose you now. That would have been a great play.
Well, Mom couldn't go after it. She's got a sleepy kid. On the ground to third. Santana hangs in there with it and throws out Crawford. And that'll bring up Hicks. Hicks is hitting .222 with a couple of home runs. Hicks hits a high fly ball to right. Murphy should be able to get to this one. Or never mind.
I mean, he had to sort of step around the mound on the right field side. I mean, this is like Wrigley Field. I mean, the bullpens are on the field. They're part of it. When you're coming over the side trying to make a play as an outfield, I mean, you're not looking at the ground. You're staring at the ball in the sky. Watch him sort of step around the mound right here a little bit. And that altered his route. Really no chance to get it, but good effort.
We used to see guys once or twice a year at Candlestick go down. Matter of fact, I remember one year Joe Youngblood ended up on the disabled list. He went down. I think he broke his wrist.
Yeah, Candy Maldonado hit that thing a couple times. It went down hard. It wasn't a part of the ballpark that outfielders really liked.
Hicks takes low and away, 1-2. Vogelsong on deck. And that'll do it. So Hicks strikes out, 3 for Salazar. We've completed 2. No score.
He was 17 years, 56 days old. Played for the New York Giants, and he played 241 games before the age of 20. No wonder he was Vince Scully's favorite player, and that's your McDonald's True Stories.
No score as we head to the third inning, where it will be the pitcher, Danny Salazar, to lead things off. Salazar on the season is 0 for 2. You see a guy stand up there, Mike. He's a right-handed thrower. He hits left-handed. And he gets in the box, and you just look at his stance. And you determine whether it looks like he can hit or not. And this guy looks like he can hit.
Yeah, I agree. That's always the X factor in interleague play. You don't know what type of hitter the American League pitchers are.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's the old equalizer. Just dropped old Uncle Charlie the curveball on him.
And he swings through a high fastball. Vogelsong with 3 strikeouts in a row. And here's Bourne.
Fresh hot dogs. When doesn't a hot dog sound good?
I know. I agree.
I mean, it sounds good after Thanksgiving dinner. You can't eat another bite. Red rope, caramel corn.
One ball and no strikes. Bourne taking all the way. And he wraps this one on the ground into right field with Belt playing in. That ball shot right by him. So Bourne is 2 for 2, and here's Swisher. Swisher popped out to Sandoval in the first.
Always interesting to see the second at bat of a ball game, to see how a lineup will make adjustments against the hitter or the pitcher on the mound. They have a plan going in, especially if it's interleague play, but it's a plan to a scout report or a bat you'd had against the guy a couple of years earlier. But the second time through, they make adjustments as to what they're seeing that day.
Well, Swisher can do a lot of different things. One, he takes a lot of walks, but he can also aim for that hole between Belt and Hicks. One ball and 1 strike. Outfield straightaway for Swisher. And a quick toss. Bourne really hadn't looked at all like he was going to steal at any time in this series. Down low, 2 balls and a strike.
1-2-2 on the unload time for Ryan Vogelsong, 1.22 seconds. That's below average. Average is 1.25. If you're Buster Posey, you have to like it when Vogelsong's out there and there's a base stealer on, because he will give you a chance to throw a runner out.
Up the middle. Hicks has got it. Shovels it to Crawford. On the Belt, and a double play and a beauty. Vogelsong thinking, that's what I'm talking about.
This, folks, is the big leagues. No score. Heading to the bottom of the third. Time now for our Togo's big play the Togo's way, and why not talk about a big league double play? I thought it was a base hit. Robbed right here to a backhand with Hicks, and just a flip to a bare hand, and Brandon Crawford does the rest. I didn't think they had any chance of getting one, and they wind up getting a pair. That's our Togo's big play the Togo's way.
So here's Vogelsong to bat first here in the third. And strike, and it's 0-1. Vogelsong 1 for 7. That one base hit did knock in a couple of runs. Giants pitchers promised they were going to get better this year at the plate, and so far they have.
Yeah, they delivered. I think they were embarrassed about their performance last year offensively.
Two balls and one strike. So now it makes it interesting. It's 3-1.
Well, the last thing you're saying in this situation, especially when you're pitching the hitter leading off an inning, is don't walk him, don't walk him, don't walk him. Vogelsong taken all the way. Not a bad idea. This should be another fastball just like that one.
Got him.
Take a look one more time at the defensive brilliance by Brandon Hicks. The high flip to the bare hand, walks it right into the hand, and then just cock and release. And Brandon Crawford showing off his arm without a stride.
That was a beauty.
Yeah, that really was a big league double play.
Pagan bounced out sharply to Kipnis to open up the bottom of the first inning.
You're starting to see the corners grow a little bit more on both sides of the plate from Scott Berry, and that's kind of how he rolls. It is a great zone to throw to.
Pagan rolls it foul, 0-2. On deck is Hunter Pence. One out here in the third, no score. Good rip at an 0-2 pitch. And the 0-2 to Pagan, and he lifts it down the left field line, and it's going to just slice foul. Pagan had hopes. He was watching as he left the batter's box, but I think deep down in his heart he knew that it was going to be foul. A one hopper, 1-2. We mentioned the Padres tomorrow night. Tyson Ross coming back home. He's going to face Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, he was as nasty as we've seen anybody all year long in the game he threw against the Giants in San Diego.
And in his last start, he got lit up. Pagan asked for time. Stultz on Tuesday against Kane, and then Robbie Erlin on Wednesday, a day game, against Tim Hudson. There's a shot, and again it's a tipness. That is wrong. All of those are night games. Wednesday's game is a night game. Tuesday, April 29th is the Giants' first annual sports antique show. You need a special package. And in that package, you're going to get a limited edition bobblehead of Chumley from History Channel's Pawn Stars. 415-972-2298. Here's Pence. Pence looks at a strike. He drew a walk in the first inning. Giants will leave on Thursday for a long road trip.
That's a nice quick little breaking ball right there, and you can't put it in a better spot in the strike zone. Just consistency to location is really going to be the key for Danny Salazar as he progresses his big league career. He's got the stuff. He just hasn't quite yet put the harness on it to where he can consistently bang those corners with great stuff. But he's got the kind of arm that you can afford to be patient with if you're the Indians.
And Pence with a line drive into center field, giving Belt an opportunity to hit here in the third. Belt struck out in the first inning 6 times in this series. Over by the Giants dugout, about 10 rows back, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Kind of picking up the pieces up there in that section, weren't they?
Yep. Overshift is on for Belt. No idea what Belt was doing.
I think there was a timeout called.
Was there?
I don't think that they're.
It's 1-0. You're right. Is it Scott Berry holding up the 1-0 sign?
Salazar did take a long time before he came home with it.
Oh, 2.
And another swing through. I mean, it just makes you talk to yourself when you're swinging and you're not hitting anything. I mean, one thing if you're hitting foul balls hard, but when you're just swinging and getting nothing, that is an impossible feeling for a hitter.
Pence with his lead. And he got him again. Fourth inning coming up.
Game 6 tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pre-game live at 6:30. You'll see it right on Comcast Sportsnet California. Beat LA. That is the mantra being sung loudly at the Shark Tank. The Kings can tie the series up at 3, but the Sharks want to end it now. It's time to beat LA as the Sharks quest for the Stanley Cup continues. All games of the Sharks-Kings series will be on Comcast Sportsnet California.
All right already, okay?
End it.
All right already. Kipnis, Santana, Brantley. Kipnis takes down low. He drew a walk in the first inning. Crawford playing Kipnis to pull, but it is not an overshift. Hoagie wanted it. 2 balls and no strikes.
He should want it. That was a strike. Another good count to hit in. And we always talk about how patient Nick Swisher is. Well, you could say the same thing for Jason Kipnis. A lot of characteristics. Not in any hurry to have his at bat. Determined. Get pitches out of a pitcher.
Hitters count for Kipnis 3-1. Three and 2.
5 pitches, has not swung yet.
And he gets the walk. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, well, Dwayne, you were in good company because Giants reliever David Huff is also a former Cleveland Indian. He was drafted by the organization in 2006 and was with them all the way through the first half of 2013. He is on the DL with a left strained quad, so he spent some downtime today catching up with former teammates. He told me the quad's doing a lot better, but he is bummed because he really would have liked the opportunity to throw against his former club. Guys?
It was good to touch base with some of the guys you played with. Maybe some of these guys he played with in the minor leagues. I'm sure he did.
And it is hard. When you look at the schedule and you see that your own team is coming to your home city, I mean, that's one you circle right there. And when you get hurt and you can't play in it, it's tough.
Santana takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Santana hit a ball to the wall in right field that was caught by Hunter Pence. And Vodosong, now back-to-back hitters, is going 2-0.
Yeah, these are just holes you kind of put yourself in as a pitcher that you're sort of tempting fate. You keep creating these type of opportunities for hitters, and sooner or later they're going to beat you on them. Because they're gambling right here. I mean, they can look one pitch, they can look one location, they can look up, down, whatever their preference is.
Buster Posey's going to come back.
And that was a healthy rip. 1-0, 2-0, 3-1 counts are not the friends of pitchers. So much easier to pitch when you're on top of a hitter. 0-1, 0-2, 1-2. Because then you can make him hit your location. And when you're behind the count, you can't do that. You've got to come to him.
They're going to call that high. It's 3-1.
He hasn't gotten any help from Scott Berry this inning. Borderline pitches have gotten called against him, and they put him in bad counts. And here we are again, another good hitters count, 3-1.
Buster Posey. Got it. That was a wrestling match.
Was not easy.
Plus, with a catcher's mitt, you got to sweet spot it.
Yeah, you don't get a big basket like other gloves, and there's no sunglasses, and there's sun, and lots of wind. And here it starts to take on a personality. And sweet spots it, he does. Stay with it the best you can. And there was Pablo Sandoval to help him if anything had bounced up. Sandoval, because of the shift, was playing almost at shortstop position. He couldn't get to it.
Here's Michael Brantley. Brantley bounced out to Hicks to end the first inning. He did that with runners at the corners.
Take a look at how far Pablo Sandoval was and how long it took for him to get into the play.
And it's important we show that. A lot of people might think, well, where the heck was he?
It's the one risk you have when you put a shift on and play a player to pull. You're taking that third baseman away from the foul lines. And any pop-up like that is going to be a catcher's ball. Next pitch for Vogelsong will be number 60.
Kipnis, who drew a walk, is at first. Going just a little low. If home plate umpire Scott Berry is going to be a little bit forgiving, it's not going to be up. It may be a little bit down and maybe a little bit on the corners. 2-2.
Nice 2-seam fastball. Perfect location. And that's got movement that sort of slides away from a left-handed hitter. And go back right. The same thing with another pitch. Widen it out a little bit farther. He'll chase with 2 strikes. Or you come back with same type of movement on a changeup. Same location. And you might see him swing through it.
Straightaway center field. Pagan barely has to move. 2 outs. And here's a Drupal Cabrera. Cabrera popped out to Crawford in the second. Talked about the rest of this homestand and the Giants leaving on Thursday. They will head to Atlanta. Atlanta played another 1-0 game today.
Wow.
And they beat the Cincinnati Reds. I think that was Tehran against Cueto. Swinging a foul back.
Atlanta's staff ERA prior to today's ball game was 2.14. Wow. And they threw another shutout on top of that, which makes them now 17-7. And that really has been an unbelievable story early on this 2014 season. So the Giants are heading to Atlanta, then on to Pittsburgh for 3, and winding up with 4 in Los Angeles, a 10-game road trip.
And I would expect, as Belt takes this, that left-hander in LA, Mr. Kershaw, is going to be ready by then. Posey to lead things off.
It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
Well, Monday, April 28th is Korean Heritage Night. Your special event package will include a game ticket to see the Giants take on the Padres and a collector's edition bobblehead of LPGA golfer and World Golf Hall of Famer Se-Ri Pak. Se-Ri Pak will be in attendance, and she will throw out the ceremonial first pitch, and we hear that she throws in the 90s. So to receive the Se-Ri Pak bobblehead, you need to purchase the special event ticket. Go to sfgiants.com/special events. Looking forward to that first pitch.
Yes, I am. Buster Posey singled in the first inning. Giants have had 3 base runners. Salazar with 5 strikeouts. And the first pitch is on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Posey, Morse, and Sandoval. Almost the same spot, and it's 0-2.
Fastball away, fastball away.
Posey stays alive.
Fastball away.
Low, 1-2. 57 pitches now for Salazar as you see Pablo Sandoval at the bat rack.
Gomes wanted a changeup. Salazar shook to get a fastball away. Now Gomes called a changeup.
Posey into left center field. Bourne's got a beat on it, and he'll put it away for out number 1. Time to log on to csnbayarea.com and decide the player of the game. Your vote counts. Winner will be revealed during Giants post-game live. Follow all the action with enhanced Bloomberg stats. Giants in-game live on csnbayarea.com. Log on and you can vote right now. Here's Morris. Morris struck out in the first inning, and he pops this one up into shallow left field, and it's going to be the left fielder Brantley who will make the catch. So the kid's now in a pretty good rhythm.
Well, he is in a good rhythm, and if you're the Giants, you got to figure out how to break that rhythm. And the easiest way to do it is get him in a stretch,
which he's been in a couple of times. Sandoval bounced out. Here he takes wide. 1 ball and no strikes.
They really haven't been making any pitches on the inside part of the strike zone against Sandoval. When they've come in bad. For the most part, they've stayed away.
2-0. See if Sandoval lets it fly here. Down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Sandoval's going to end up at second with a 2-out double.
When you see a league continuously go one speed to one side of the plate, they see a weakness in your swing. And for Sandoval, who's been pulling out the ball and losing plate coverage, this is a big at bat because he puts himself in position to finally extend and reach the outside location. And that pitch, you're only going to do one thing with it, and it's exactly what he did. Go to left. That is a good at bat, and that will give him some confidence to that side of the plate.
Giants have a runner in scoring position for Crawford. Crawford bounced out to the third baseman Santana. Here he shoots this one fair down the right field line. Giants are on the board. Crawford going for 2. He's going to make it. It's 1-0 Giants.
No, we're going to make it our fourth right choice, and that at bat with runners in scoring position, especially with 2 outs. That's the money hit. And Brandon Crawford spinning on a ball rakes it right past Swisher, who never had a chance. An easy score for Sandoval. And RBI number 10 on the year for Brandon Crawford. Nothing sweeter than a 2-out knock that puts your team on the board. So very quickly, Mickey Callaway, the pitching coach for the Indians, coming out. And I think this talk that he'll have with Salazar, number 1, calm him down. He just gave up a base hit and a run. The reminder that you've got a pitcher on deck. Let's take a look at the ball as it was raked past Swisher. it's always nice to have a left-handed first baseman when you're hitting one to the to that side of a first baseman, because the left-hander has to come across his body. He doesn't have quite the range.
It's called smart hitting.
There you go.
Hit struck out in the second. Swing and a miss, 0-1.
So, message from Callaway: go after him, but don't give him anything good to hit. If you walk him, so what? You've got Vogelsong on deck. And one thing about Terry Francona, the skipper of the Indians, what we learned about him when he was a skipper with the Phillies, is that if he had this situation with a pitcher on deck, he liked that pitcher to go after that 8th place hitter, because he loved an inning that started off with a pitcher leading off. But there's a way to do it, and when you have a young pitcher like Salazar, you want to make sure you tell him how you want it done.
Get out to left field. Brantley and Braun, and it's going to be caught by Braun in deep left center field. So the Giants on the board, a couple of doubles. Sandoval, Crawford. It's 1-0 Giants. One nothing Giants. Top of the 5th inning. Let's check out our Solar Company electrifying play of the week. It happened Wednesday at Colorado in a tie ball game. Not anymore. That is a Hector Sanchez grand slam, and the Giants went on to win that game and had a happy flight. He hit one earlier in the game. He hit that one with nobody on it.
Yeah, they were both tape measures, too.
Here's Yan Gomes. It'll be Gomes, Murphy, and Salazar facing Ryan Vogelsong, who will now throw a pitch with the lead for the first time.
Straight away in the outfield. They play Bell off the line at first base, and they protect the line with Sandoval at third.
One ball and no strikes. And that kind of softly flops in there. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Good way to steal a strike. Nobody going to look for a big slow curveball that he's only thrown once before in the game in a 1-0 count.
Hit high and fouled on the right field line and out of play. Murphy to follow. Giants trying to go to 8-4 at home. Two and two. You look at teams with good records, and their home record is always very good.
That's the old saying about baseball. If you can play 500 on the road and have a good record at home, you're going to have a good year. It's always assumed that you're going to be able to do well at home.
Hit to right field. Pence moving back, and he'll put it away. And that'll bring up Murphy. And we talked about it, the Atlanta Braves and how well they're doing. So let's check their home record. 9-3. Murphy struck out in the second. Here he takes a strike.
Now the one pitch that Vogelsong has that gives Murphy trouble is that curveball. And he'd like to ideally save it till he gets to a 2-strike count and then drop it on him.
Hicks to his right, and Hicks is going to throw him out.
And there was that curveball. If he keeps it down, I mean, it's a good ground ball pitch. Set up in the outside corner. Curveball right to the glove, and there's the ground ball and an easy 2-pitch out.
Well, what did you say in the open? The key to him, the left-handed hitters.
Yeah, I mean, he has not done well in that regard this year, but today he has done well. I mean, 8 of the 9 that he's facing in this lineup are left-handed, including the pitcher.
Giants scored in the bottom of the fourth. 2-out doubles by Crawford and Sandoval. And a swing and a miss, 1-2. This kid has pitched really good. Two and two. And he taps his breaking ball foul.
Fun on the boat.
Yeah, that does look like fun.
I like the life vest on the dog.
Yeah, one thing missing for me.
What's that?
And that's a big flat screen.
Yeah, it is a big flat screen. It's called the Bay.
In tight 3-2.
Yeah, this just should be a straight fastball challenge right here. There's your flat screen.
And that'll end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Vogelsong. For the Giants, Vogelsong will lead things off.
to the game. It is a beautiful day here at AT&T Park. I'd say it's perfect for some fan photos. You know it. It is sponsored by AT&T. Take a look at our latest. It is Brad Davis. He's from Santa Rosa, a North Bay guy, and he is sporting Gregor Blanco's autographed jersey. What do you got? Send it in. Tweet it to us. Hashtag CSNBA fan photo. Make sure you include your name and hometown, and you might be on a future broadcast. Dwayne?
All right. Sounds good. And it's a place where you can get a beautiful picture just about any place you walk around.
Yeah, you don't have to be Ansel Adams to have a good picture taken in this ballpark. Smile.
Little song to lead things off.
Everywhere you look, it's just paradise.
Vogelsong struck out looking in the third. He did get it to a 3-1 count. And here he'll hit one down the right field line into the club level.
Yep, don't do what Ryan Braun did. Don't be swinging that bat. You're going to hit somebody. And Ryan Braun did that in his own dugout. The guy right in the head. Crum was standing on the top step of the dugout, swinging the bat. Somebody walked behind him and he clipped him right in the side of the face.
1-1 pitch is high. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I saw the clip of Ryan Braun accidentally hitting somebody with a bat. He should have been swinging the bat where he was in the dugout, but I thought immediately, if that had happened with Frank Robinson as our manager,
he'd have hit Brian Braun. Well, probably not, but
it would have been ugly.
The Vogelsong, a good swing. The young player was Gene Segura, the really great young shortstop who's going to be on the shelf now for 2 or 3 days. In all honesty, it could have been a lot worse. It looked bad, but it struck him below the eye. Can you imagine if it hit him in the eye?
Yeah.
Outside to Vogelsong, so he gets it to 3-2 again.
Nice fastball at 96.
And Vogelsong out swinging.
At least he's getting pitches out of him.
Well, that he is doing. Here's Pagan. Pagan has hit the ball hard twice, but it's been right at Kipnis. Jason Kipnis, the Indians' second baseman. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes. Hunter Pence waiting on deck. And this is lined right at the shortstop. So no luck today for Pagan.
He's hit the ball on the screws all 3 times, and he's got with the little bird left on the rock. Two hard smashes to Kipnis in second here. Nice crisp line drive. And that's with the little bird left on the rock.
Here's Pence. Pence with a base hit in the third. Swinging and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pence has got the average up to 258. Look out. 2-1.
Well, right now, Hunter Pence is locked. And when the guy's already got a good speed, good swing going, you don't want to speed up his bat by throwing one under his nose.
And that just misses. 3-1.
Salazar squirmed a bit. He thought he had a strike.
Three and two.
He was swinging to try and hit the top of the glove.
He might do that again here.
Well, there was no finesse in the last fastball. He was just reach back and blow.
Got him. 96 on the outside corner. How about that? Sixth inning coming up. Top of the order for the Indians. Live, well, that's going to start at 6:30. We'll have first pitch at 7 p.m. and you're going to see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. So here's Bourne. Bourne has singled twice. Swing and a miss under his hands. No balls and one strike.
You saw the numbers in the graphic. All the damage really that has been done to Vogelsong today has been the top three guys in the lineup. Now nobody has scored, but they have given him fits.
So Bourne at the plate, Swisher on deck, and then Kipnis. Two balls and a strike. Vogelsong now with 81 pitches. Three and one.
That's really not a guy you can afford to walk in a 1-0 ball game. And this is always a pivotal at bat when you're facing the leadoff hitter in a 1-run ball game. Third time through, and he's leading it off.
Three and two. going to be out of play, so Vogelsong will have to redo it again with Michael Bourne. Rockies still leading the Dodgers. That game in the 5th inning, it's just 2-1. Padres beat the Nationals this afternoon, so the Padres are on a plane headed here. Three-two pitch. Hit on the ground. Hicks. Hicks is going to throw him out. So a nice comeback for Vogelsong. And here's Swisher.
.297 on base percentage. You see the area improvement that he needs to work on. That's usually one of his strengths, getting on base. Yep, room for 2.
No balls and 1 strike to Swisher. Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2.
Right, nice 2-pitch sequence. He took the fastball down the throat, taking it all the way, and he followed it up with a nice changeup. Same arm action. And every changeup that he's throwing Swisher today, Swisher has not really identified it early. He's been off balance with it.
And a shade high, 1-2. Vogelsong with pitch number 89. Hit down the left field line. Foul. Swisher knew it was foul. He never left the box.
See a lot of Cleveland hats, shirts, and the stands this 3-game series.
Look out. That ball might have hit Swisher if he hadn't hit it. Are you all right?
I think so.
So it's 1-2 to Swisher. Got him.
Curveball, see ya. Strikeout number 5 for Vogelsong. Well, check out MLB TV Premium, the #1 live stream sports service, and it's celebrating 12 years of existence. So join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-game market live in true HD on over 400 devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit sfgiants.com for details.
Here's Kipnis. Kipnis has walked twice. And he looks at a strike. Kipnis reaches. It'll be the third baseman, Carlos Santana.
Straight away in the outfield. Played a pole in the infield.
Belt on the backhand. Belt says, I'll take it myself, and he does. And that'll end the inning. Nice play by Belt. He will lead things off.
Heffernan Insurance Brokers, offering business and personal insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. Visit us at hefins.com and by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
We got a tight one. It's a 1-0 lead for the Giants. And take a look at this play. How come Belton tossed this?
Well, it was stuck in his web. Look at it. He has to take it himself. And it almost blew through the web. I mean, that's probably a broken piece of leather that we almost saw it blow through the glove. And we have seen that. But that sucker is stuck. If he's in a flip, it would have been a Terry Mulholland flip.
Belt to lead things off. 2 strikeouts. And he takes high. 1 ball and no strikes.
His best offense against that high fastball right now is take it.
Yep. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's done that a lot this afternoon.
Now, I've never seen him in a streak like this where he just keeps swinging and missing.
And there's the uncle.
That's exactly right. I mean, he can't figure it out. And trying to bunt. This is your third place hitter with power, who's tied for the league's lead in home runs. And that's where he is mentally right now. And it's not a good place.
Out of play.
And believe it or not, that's progress. He fouled it back.
Yeah, that was pitched a little further down. Two and 2.
Have you ever gone through a streak like he's going through right now?
I didn't take as big a swing as Belt did.
But I mean, it's totally unnerving to a hitter.
Oh, are you kidding? Got him.
I mean, he is walking back absolutely perplexed. That's a hat trick.
And that's also with an attempt to try to get out by bunting. Here's Buster Posey. One for 2 for the Giants catcher. He skies one to right. Murphy will put it away on the track. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Morse. Morris was struck out and popped out. Big swing and a foul. And that's into the upper deck down the right field line. It's 0-1.
Sal's a lot of confidence in that fastball. I mean, he's going right at the Giants. And that was right down there in the wheelhouse of Morris. He missed a pretty good pitch to hit. He's been in a great groove lately.
Foul back. He can take a rip. There is no doubt about that. No balls and 2 strikes. And he taps it to third for Carlos Santana. And that's going to end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Danny Salazar, and it'll be Santana to lead things off. By your local Toyota dealer. Pitchers duel. Bourne's got a couple of hits. Salazar has been terrific. Giants scored 2 runs, or make that 1 run in the 4th inning on 2 doubles. See what the Giants' record is when they score first. Vogelsong is in the ball game here in the 7th. He's got 94 pitches. Juan Perez is now in left field.
Checking out the sun. Right about the 7th inning is when the sun becomes an issue for the shortstop, the third baseman, and the left fielder. And it has happened. So balls that side of the field that are popped up or fly ball, they're going to be an issue because of the sun.
Here's Santana, and he takes wide. He's flied out to deep right field, and he's popped out to Buster Posey.
One thing that Vogelsong has done effectively today is pitch behind in the count.
Look out, bat goes flying. Vogelsong's calling for it, and he puts it away.
Bill Clark between innings coming over to talk to Michael Morris. And he's going to break it down. He's going to want to know what your approach was, where you were looking, what were you sitting on, location, pitch-wise. He's going to want to know what your plan is. One thing about Will Clark, I mean, I don't think he ever took an at-bat where he didn't have a plan, and that's one thing he professes strongly to young hitters. Don't be brain dead up there. Have a clue. Have a plan.
Here's Brantley. Brantley's bounced out and flied out. And the first pitch is down low. 1 ball and no strikes. As Drupal Cabrera is on deck. So the Rockies now lead 3-1 in LA. Hit on the ground to Belt. Belt has it. He will throw it to Vogelsong, 2 outs. Now the one thing as a defensive player is you cannot let your offense affect what you do on the field behind that starting pitcher, and clearly it hasn't with Belt.
Well, they're paying attention to the keys of the game. We flash, unleash the hounds. That was yesterday's. The Hounds did good yesterday.
Here's Drupal Cabrera. Out of play down the left field line.
It's 8 for 24. That's the number of first pitch strikes today for Ryan Vogelsong. I mentioned he's really pitched behind a lot. 8 for 24 is not usually a formula for success. But he has not given in to those counts either. What would normally be fastball counts 1-0, 2-0, 3-1, 3-2. He is throwing everything. So he has used all his pitches. That last one, number 100 on the day for him.
Two and one now to Cabrera.
Just a wee bit low, and here again another 3-1 count. Gene Machi very quickly heading down to the Giants bullpen.
And that's pulled on the ground, foul. Heads up.
Cutter in on the hands.
3-2. Got him. 6 strikeouts for Vogelsong. Cabrera out swinging. As he walks off the mound, the fans behind the Giants dugout letting them know 1-0 Giants.
One nothing Giants. We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. We'll go back to this play that Brandon Belt makes that gets caught in his web, and it sort of reminded us of 1986 when Terry Mohawk in New York, Bob Brinley at first base, and it gets caught in his web, and it's like, well, I'm going to throw the whole glove to Bob Brinley. I told Bob Brinley afterwards, you really blew it, because what you should have done is take the glove and start throwing it around the infield. There was nobody on base. He said, I was so stunned, I didn't know what to do. And we almost saw it replayed today with Belt as he had one stuck in his web.
That was pretty cool. So Pablo Sandoval is going to lead things off. Sandoval, Crawford, Hicks.
Yeah, great 7 innings from Ryan Vogelsong. Just 2 hits allowed, 6 strikeouts. And you saw him talking with Tim Hudson, applauding the efforts of Vogelsong's work today. And he's probably going to be out of the game with Santiago Casillas starting to warm up in the Giants bullpen. If that's the case, he'll sleep a whole lot better tonight. That was a good outing.
And the first pitch is wide to Sandoval. Sandoval, a 2-out double in the 4th. He scored the only run in this game. And it's 2-0.
They're staying with the game plan. Away with hard stuff. Now he beat the scout report his last at bat. Nice opposite field double.
Swinging and missing, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Cannot try and pull that location. You try and hook that bat head, you're really falling into the hands of the pitcher.
And it comes back in. It's 2-2.
You put it in the guy's mind, you're going to go away, and all of a sudden you drop a front door sinker on him. You're not going to get off a swing.
Sandoval rips one into right center field, a base hit.
Well, the Padres make their first visit to AT&T Park tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. All 3 games, 7:15 starts, and you can check out dynamic deals for all 3 Padre games. Tickets start as low as $8. That's right, $8 with sfgiants.com/dynamic deal and get your tickets.
So Sandoval with a pair of hits, and here's Crawford.
I'll tell you what was significant about that swing of the bat for Sandoval, Kipe. It was his second hit. It was his first hit with 2 strikes this year. He was 0 for 42 going into that swing of the bat.
That is almost hard to believe. So here's Crawford. Crawford, double play ball. Kipnis to Cabrera, and it's a 4-6-3. And that'll bring up Hicks. Hicks is 0 for 2. And the first pitch is a called strike. That's 97 pitches now for Salazar. He's been good. One and one. Ari Adrianza is on deck. Two balls and 1 strike. Bottom 3 in the lineup. To lead off the top of the 8th inning for the Tribe. 2 balls and a strike. 2-2, not a hit. Two pitch. Hicks hits a high fly ball to right. Murphy will battle the wind, and he'll put it away, and that'll end the inning. Salazar, with the help of the double play, through 7, 1-0 Giants.
San Francisco Giants organization. Today they surpassed the Philadelphia Phillies with the longest home sellout streak, with 258 consecutive games in the National League. They hold this record. Bruce Bochy acknowledging this, saying it was incredible. He is so grateful for the fan support, and they feed off of these fans every single game. Keep up the energy and keep coming to the ballpark, guys.
All right, Amy. Here's Gomes. Casilla starts him off with a called strike. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
Take a look at the numbers for Santiago Casilla. 12 times that he has come in. 0.68 ERA. 13 1/3. 11 hits allowed. Still not quite as sharp with his command as we have seen in the past. But he's been able to work through it. And that really is, I think, the sign of a guy that can pitch, is when he can get it done even when he doesn't have his great command.
Oh, 0-2. Down low, 1-2.
See, it can give you two different types of breaking balls. You just saw the curveball. He's also got a hard slider, and he can throw a cutter that's a pretty effective pitch, too. I mean, he really can give you a lot of different types of movement.
High and deep to left. Perez back. Starting to carry. Gone. And this game is tied. And it came on a 1-2 pitch. They had the right sound, and it looked like the right swing.
Tells you as to why they like Yan Gomes. I mean, he doesn't really make much of a two-strike adjustment. He's got the power to hit the ball in the ballpark even in those counts.
Here's Murphy, who bounces this one to Hicks, and Hicks is retired.
Especially frustrating for Santiago Casilla because they set the target away. This one goes up and in, and Gomes with no stride just yanks it right out of here. So, brand new ball game.
Chisenhall is going to pinch hit. And a strike to Chisenhall. Chisenhall started at third base on Friday night, and he went 0 for 3. And that pitch is wide. 1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Hardest thing for a relief pitcher, come into a ball game, you have a 1-run lead, and you give that lead up. It's very hard to get your concentration back to the moment, to the matter at hand. I mean, emotionally, I mean, you just took a hit, and you've got to figure out a way to fight through that and still get the job done. See the bullpen with the lowest ERA in the major leagues, 11 games. That home run by Gomes snapped a 19-inning scoreless inning streak.
Chisenhall is gone. 2 down.
And there was some anger behind that fastball.
And that'll bring up Michael Bourne. Bourne 2 for 3. Giants will have a pinch hitter, and then Pagan and Pence. They'll be up in the bottom of this inning. As Bourne bounces this one to Belt, and it's a foul ball. The Indians have a righty and a lefty throwing in their bullpen.
The righty is Cody Allen, and the left-hander is Mark Zipchinski.
Terry Francona watching. No balls and a strike to Bourne.
First and pitching lines for Vogelsong, 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts.
1 ball and 1 strike to Bourne.
104 pitches, 59 working strikes. 104-59 for Vogelsong. For Danny Salazar, he went 7 innings also. For the 5 hits, 1 run was earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. For 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts.
Curveball in the dirt. That's not a great 1-1 pitch, better 0-2 pitch. And for lack of Bourne, is it not in a protect mode, 1-1 count? He spit on that thing.
Well, he's trying to get on first any way he can. And with his speed, Hicks has it. And we will go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Indians have tied it up on the Gomes home run. And we'll see who Bruce Bochy sends out to hit.
Walk, struck out 6, and he did it in an unconventional way. I mean, he did not have a lot of first pitch strikes. He pitched beautifully behind the count all day long, and because of that stellar effort, we're going to make him our Honda player of the game.
New pitcher, but it's time for a change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Mark Zipchinski on the hill now for the Cleveland Indians. 12th time he has come in. 0-1 with an 0.96 ERA. 9 base runners in 9 1/3. 5 walks, 4 knocks, 8 strikeouts. A low 3/4 guy, almost a sidearmer with a lot of sink on the fastball. Good hard slider.
Arias is going to hit, and he takes a strike. Arias overall hitting 139 with Pagan to follow. Bouncing ball. It kicks off of the mound. Gitnes to Swisher, and they got him. I don't know if it hit Zipchinski or if it just hit the mound. Ron Wotus is trying to get a word from the clubhouse.
I'm going to check it out. I think it was called correctly. They got him. He's out. And even a play that's bang, it's not going to reverse the play.
So it does go 1-4-3. And here's Pagan. And Pagan takes low. 1 ball and no strikes.
Zipchinski came up with the Cardinals in 2011, product out of UC Riverside.
And a breaking ball to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Zipchinski came up as in the organized baseball. I mean, he was a starter for a long time, and they wanted to put him in the bullpen. He's found a nice home. And you can imagine with that type of low delivery, you're going to get sink on the fastball. Does not give up a lot of home runs.
Line drive right field, base hit, and this will be more than just a single. Pagan is going to cruise into second base, and that's a double. He needed that. He hit the ball hard every time up. We'll see if Terry Francona is going to go get Zipchinski.
A little backdoor breaking ball, just an outstanding job of staying in with that front side and going the opposite way.
So, Terry Francona comes out to get the left-hander to bring in the right-hander. Hunter Pence is going to hit. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Not that easy to do in that situation. To get a pinch hit, drive one in, you just got to be aggressive. Well, yesterday a huge hit, which is part of a 4-run inning and the difference maker of the Giants' 5-3 victory. And that's our Geico quote. New pitcher now for Terry Francona's Indians is going to be Cody Allen, the 25-year-old right-hander, 6'1", 210-pounder. And this is what he has done, and he's been electric. He's had 8 hits, 4 walks, 12 base runners at 9 1/3 with 14 strikeouts. He's got a good fastball, and you'll see mid to high 90s with the velocity and a big curveball. That's his specialty pitch. Pretty much a 2-pitch guy, but throwing with a lot of confidence right now.
Facing Hunter Pence with Pagan at second base. And there's that breaking ball, and it's high, so he throws it right out of bed.
That looks more like a slider than a curveball. But it's hard at 86 miles per hour.
Outfield playing off the lines for Hunter Pence. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That was 97 right through the outside corner, just above the knees.
Get out to right field. Plenty of room for Murphy. He'll put it away. And Pagano tag and gets the third.
Well, that's significant, because it could definitely take away some of the aggressiveness that a pitcher would have with a breaking ball trying to strike a guy out and throwing it hard down in the dirt.
Well, here's Belt. Belt's had an afternoon he'd like to forget, but he's got it at bat here in the 8th. Three strikeouts today, 8 strikeouts in the series. No balls and 1 strike.
And the Indians staying steady with the belt high fastball away until he proves to them that he can turn that one around. He's not going to see anything else.
He could hit a 97 hopper to short. Much easier said than done, I might add. 0-2.
Just, they have found a weakness and they have pounded it. And he has nothing to do to combat it.
One and two.
The thing about baseball, it's a small world. Every scout in all of baseball is watching this, and he's not going to see anything else but this until he changes it.
Out of play off the top of the backstop.
One-dimensional, just rear back and go country hard away at the belt. And you're right, Kat. Any ground ball at all to the shortstop position, the second, the Indians have no defense against it.
And the 1-2 pitch. He got him, and that'll end the inning. We'll head to the 9th. It's a 1-1 ball game. going to be Tuesday at 7:30. Pregame live will start at 7, and you're going to see it right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Warriors win today to even up the series at 2-2. The Giants will be on Comcast Sportsnet Plus. So check us out. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and smog experts.
Giants closer Sergio Romo coming in. 11th time that he has taken the slab for Bruce Bochy. 1-0 with a 2.70 ERA. 8 base runners in 10 innings. This is not a save opportunity, of course, but always a strategy that Bruce Bochy will employ, like a lot of managers around the league. Tie ball game, bottom of the ninth, you bring in your closer.
Swisher swings and fouls it into the glove of Buster Posey. I have to tell you, Mike, you and I talked about it in between innings. And we've been at this for a long time. Some people might say too long, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like that happen to a hitter as far as striking out in a 3-game series.
Yeah, I can't recall either. I mean, we're talking about an everyday play. I mean, I've seen pitchers swing and miss that many times, but not an everyday player. Not on one pitch, not on fastballs, and swing through as many as Brandon Belt has swung through. He is beside himself.
It's odd. It really is.
I've never seen it.
0-2 to Swisher. Romo tried to backdoor him. It's 1-2.
Just a little bit high and just a little bit outside. I like the idea though.
Belt gets it on a big hop. Swisher's retired. Well, we know, Mike, that Belt's a streaky hitter when it comes to home runs. Maybe he's a streaky hitter when it comes to strikeouts. That's the theory I'm going with.
Well, right now he'll take anything he can get that's semi-positive. But I just think he's got some flaws mechanically, and he's dropping that back shoulder, and that uppercut that he has right now is defenseless against the high fastball.
Here's Kipnis.
And they're going to have to do something to flatten that thing out.
Kipnis takes low. He's been on base twice. Vogelsong only walked 2, and he walked Kipnis 2 times. Slowly hit to Belt. Romo covering, and a nice play. He has not taken those strikeouts out on the field.
No, he is not, and I tip my hat to him. With what he's going through at the plate, it'd be very easy to be distracted and lose your concentration on defense. And this is an extremely difficult play. A little back shovel, high flip, and Romo does a nice job of staying concentrated to the ball, but yet knowing where the base is. And he's kind of doing it blindly as he steps on the bag and connect and get the out. That's a great play.
So here's Carlos Santana with 2 outs. Santana takes outside and low. The Giants in the 9th inning will have Buster Posey to lead things off. Swing and a miss. Down low.
Little change up just below.
There was a time, Mike, we've seen Swisher, Kipnis, and now Santana, 3 left-handed hitters. Romo wouldn't be in this game.
Would not. He was pretty one-dimensional with his movement. He had the little slide that came back into a lefty, and then a pretty straight fastball. And he learned a 2-seam fastball that had movement away from a lefty, and then the changeup that had movement away. like that, and it made him a closer. He's always had exceptional command, but he just had two different types of movement that he learned from Mark Gardner and Dave Righetti, and here he is, one of the really consistent closers in the National League.
Overshift is on for Santana. And it's down low, so it's 3-2. Romo tweaked that knee again.
Yeah, he may have tripped. Watch his left foot. Yeah, it could have been a little buckle of the knee.
Maybe once a month.
Just to put worry in the mind of head trainer Dave Gresher.
Absolutely. Got him. Santana trying to go for the big fly. Posey, Perez, Sandoval coming out. Fellas, Murphy back tomorrow morning on KNBR 680. So this sellout crowd making lots and lots of noise for Buster Posey as he comes up to home plate. Buster this afternoon is 1 for 3. He doesn't waste any time, and he fouls that straight back, and it's no balls and one strike.
Wow, that was a good one right there.
Up the middle and a base hit, and that's how this inning gets started.
Now, he got away with a fastball at first pitch, and he came back and he threw a high fastball, same speed again. And Posey just starting to have hits find those holes. And there's the mistake up. And really, when you throw a pitch like that up to a hitter like Posey, if he gets a single, you have to feel lucky.
Adrianza is going to run for Buster Posey. And Gregor Blanco is going to hit for Perez.
Yesterday, Blanco had a big pitch hit, and he was jumping on the first fastball he saw. They're going to defend against the bunt here. Good speed with Adrianza at first. Good speed with Blanco in the box.
If Blanco does, as you mentioned, what he did yesterday, just jump on it. And he shows bunt, and it's wide. 1 ball and no strikes.
And you have to be careful with Yan Gomes, the catcher for the Indians. He is very aggressive. He'll try and pick you off. If Adrianza gets a little leaky over there at first base with his lead, they will try and go down there and throw him out.
Swinging and make it taking, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Swinging mean he was not going to bunt. Sandoval on deck. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Guys trying to go home. And there's the bunt. And it's a good bunt. And Swisher will make the play to Kipnis.
Well, textbook perfect, and it sets it up for Pablo Sandoval. And Gregor Blanco is going to get some high fives and pats on the back when he gets back to the dugout for that effort.
You think they might walk the Panda?
Well, the way he swung the bat today, yes, I do think they will walk him. Sandoval with a couple of hits, as we mentioned, his first hit and 2 strike count all year. He has been the hot hand, but so has the guy on deck. Brandon Crawford is the only guy with an RBI for the Giants today.
So it appears they're going to go after Sandoval.
With an open base, he may not see a strike.
And Sandoval attacks the first pitch and fouls it out of play.
And then again, maybe he will. And you have to remember, too, that Cody Allen is one of the hot arms in the bullpen for the Indians. And he has strikeout stuff. So Terry Francona going with his hot arm, saying, get him out.
The look to second. And that pitch is high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's a quick breaker ball. The arms in the outfield for the Indians. They have an average arm on left, an average arm on right, not much of an arm at all in center field. And good speed at second base in Adrianza. So that's the data between the years of Tim Flannery.
High again, 2-1.
Well, Allen really has to throw that breaking ball over. So if you're Pablo Sandoval, sit on one thing, and that's the fastball.
Two balls and 1 strike. Two and 2.
96th him right above the hands on the inside corner. Good pitch, and he might go right back up there again.
I think so.
See the target from Gomes. Rear back. And blew it right through him.
Two and 2. And a full count. can go a lot of different ways here. He doesn't have to throw a strike. And the 3-2. And he gets it.
Just a challenge. Fastball with a lot of confidence behind it.
On April 13th, this is what Brandon Crawford did against the Rockies. It was on a Sunday afternoon. And he indeed sent everybody home.
Well, he's not going to get the chance today. So Terry Francona saying, well, I'm not going to let the guy who's confident in this situation have at it. I'm going to walk him and go against the right-hander. Giants have Hector Sanchez on the bench.
And he's going to come into the game anyway, correct?
Correct.
Like Mike, they're going to save Sanchez for the pitcher spot.
He's the only extra man that they have left. If they don't use him in that pitcher spot, if the game gets to that pitcher spot, you're going to have to pitch hit the pitcher. A pitcher for a pitcher.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Sanchez hits here, they could walk him intentionally.
Yeah. And face Madison Bumgarner.
So here's Hicks. Hicks is a good fastball hitter. And he takes one in tight, 1-0. And he's likely to see one in this at bat.
No, you're right. Allen hasn't got that breaking ball over.
The look to second. Hicks hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. And we are going home.
Worked it into a fastball challenge. He throws it up around the letters, and Brandon Hicks looking fastball all the way. Launches it. Home run number 3 and a walk-off win, and let's watch it. That felt good. The bench, time to celebrate.
Well, we said he could hit a fastball. And he didn't let us down. And let's check in with Amy G. She's got a guest.
Yeah, well, we always like it when it happens walk-off style, especially with a home run. Brandon Hicks just take us through that at-bat against Allen. That was amazing.
Yeah, I knew going into it, he threw pretty hard, so I wanted to be on time. So whenever threw me a first pitch curveball and then got a good fastball up in the zone, I was able to put a good swing on it.
Before your AB, they intentionally walked Brandon Crawford to get to you. How does that motivate you when you're in that situation?
Yeah, you just want to kind of keep your composure, and stay calm because the crowd's yelling and everything. So you want to try and settle yourself down. Just stay within the moment.
This game today was a lot about Ryan Vogelsong. He gave you guys 7 shutout innings. He has struggled so far this season. What was he like out there to watch, and how good does it feel? He didn't get the win, which is unfortunate, but how good does it feel to see him get back to form?
Yeah, it was really awesome. He did a great job today. He competed his butt off, and it was nice to come out with a win.
You not only get the win, you get the sweep. It's your first sweep this season. How difficult is it to sweep a team?
Yeah, it's really tough, especially with a team like that in their lineup. So that's a great starting point for us. Hope we can have a few more this year.
Last one for you. You're new to the Giants, but you've been able to feel the energy of this crowd. And today, the Giants have a new record of most sellouts, passing the Phillies. And what's it like to feed off of this crowd? How much do they help you, especially when you're in situations like that?
Yeah, it's incredible. Every night these guys are screaming their butts off, and it's easy to get up for these kind of games, especially in those big situations when they're screaming. It's awesome. Adrenaline's going pretty good.
Congratulations, Brandon. Great team win. Kruk and Kipe, let's get up to you.
All right, thanks, Amy, and thanks to Brandon Hicks. And Hicks has had another walk-off, and my little brother had a chance to call this one in July of 2012 against the Texas Rangers. So I'm sure it doesn't get old. I really don't.
Walk-off home runs? No, I don't think so. And for Brandon Hicks to do it the first time as a Giant in a sellout crowd on a day when two pitchers really hooked up well against each other, Danny Salazar and Ryan Vogelsong, they had a good old-fashioned pitching duel going, and it was going to come down to one big swing of the bat. Unfortunately for the Giants, it was their turn to get that big swing, and Brandon Hicks, he's a hero. And the Giants, for the first time this year, sweep a team. A beautiful series played here against the Indians this weekend, and this is exactly the kind of confidence you want to start putting together.
They're now 8-4 at home. Padres in tomorrow night. Final score, Giants 4, Indians 1. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews and the wrap is coming up. But first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio for this update.